examples. So these are some of the examples where the change in an address or a location. Let's say you have the data of customers, or let's say employees whose address is changing. So address change is a very rare, like once in a while. So this you can say as a very slowly changing dimension, where data change frequency is a very slow. Secondly, the hierarchy or rank, in terms of organizational structure, or now we are into the design. So where the rank of people are, you know, growing, or some people might move from one department to another department. So again, this is not a daily or a kind of a transactional change. This change is a once in a while. So this you can say that is a best example for the slowly changing dimensions. Again, as I told that there are the currency rates in some of the dashboards are required if you are working on a project where we have the customer who has the global transactions, or who has to present the data or reports in a globally. So the currency conversions like local, we can say INR to the USD, because USD is considered as a standard, or USD to euro. So kind of currency conversions are there. So if the report is a transactional, then customer asks for the daily currency rates. But if it's like a analysis on a monthly or a quarterly basis, so probably the customer gives the standard rates based on a monthly basis, or probably the yearly basis. And that rate, considering that rate, you have to make the conversion. So that is again changing your data with respect to the time, and is again one of the example of the slowly changing dimensions. In many cases, the targets are given. So if the targets are on the basis of daily basis, so likewise the production or a sales is your KPI. So there you have to monitor on a daily basis. But there are some targets which are like your faults, or the kind of in a logistics, you have the targets on a monthly or quarterly basis. And in some of the KPIs you can have the targets which are changing on a yearly basis. Apart from this, we have in a previous we have faced the targets which are not having the any systematic uh, changing the changing periods. So that those can be changed by any date anywhere. So whatever data you are considering in between that period should be considered as a kind of previous targets, and the target which are changed from a specified date, the modified data should be considered with respect to the newly updated targets. So those are again a slowly changing dimensions examples. If I talk about this more, we have the KPIs like manpower like KPIs, where in auto industries the dealerships are the auto companies monitors the manpower of the dealerships, and based on the performance or the requirements, those are changed. So let's say if first quarter, if I need two service advisors and two technicians, so probably not necessary that based on the analysis, the number of requests are coming more. So probably we need to increase the number of service advisors and the number of technicians as per the demand. So let's say after quarter two, in the month of June, it can be released to the dealership that you have to have the, in place of two, you should have the four manpowers for the technician and four manpowers to the service advisors. So whatever data is measured till June should be on the basis of targets of 2 and 2 for the service advisor and technicians respectively, and from June onwards it should be measured on a targets of 4. So this is what again example we can say that is a part of slowly changing dimensions. Another best example I can say that everybody is aware of the so everybody is having the accounts in a banks, right? So you are doing the we are doing the transactions, and based on our transactions, we are assigned as a credit score, which is used in kind of loan or in the processing. So every customer has its own credit score, and it is expected that credit score for a person or the individual should be maintained properly. So in standards, we can say if it's greater than 700 or 730, then it is considered as a great score or a good score. So this is what, because it is changing with respect to your transactions or the your performance with respect to the banking. So this is changing. So again, this is one of the example of the slowly changing dimension. So biggest challenge in this, okay, we have understood what is the I mean, in what scenarios or in what behavior we can say that the data is of a slowly changing dimension. But when it comes to the BI practices, how technically how we have to, how we can handle this thing. So we have one of the function available in a click, which is known as a interval match. Interval match will help you to, you know, match the data between the, let's say if you are talking about the targets, which is let's say the target from June onwards is a changing. So you need to check what all dates in a transactional table are coming before June should refer to the previous transaction, and all the dates which are coming post June should come for the targets updated after the June. So it is a very important to match those particular things. If you go for a join in this case, then your one record, one transactions will match to all the records of a targets. So you are not exactly will get the one-on-one mapping. So I would like to explain this more with respect to the practical example. So this is what is the syntax where you have to put the interval match, and then what based on what field you are matching. So here your transactional dates are coming, and then load the table from where you have the target data. So before that, let me show you the data, what kind of data is there. So let's say this is my target data where I have the targets, where targets modification date. So let's say this is the employee for which for this particular period, January 1st of January to 31st January, I am assigning the target of 1 lakh. For the next employee, for the again same period, I am assigning the targets as a 1,15,000 and likewise. So again, my employee Gaurav is coming once again and with the different target for the different period, right? Again, similarly, Gaurav is coming for a different period. Again, he has some different targets. Now this is what is my target thing, which I have to consider as a slowly changing targets. Okay. Now let's come to the transactional data. So in the transactions, I have the number of invoices and the amounts and who have done the those things. Those we have mentioned, and again the invoice dates. So now I have to compare this invoice date with respect to the period mentioned over here. So let's say if I am in a 10th of January and my account manager is a Gaurav. So I have to check if what is the target for a Gaurav within the I mean target for a Gaurav for where the 10th of January is falling. So I can say that from 1st January to 31st January target is considered with respect to this, and I can see whether he has achieved or he has not achieved. Okay, so let's come to the data. So this is what I have the four employees where I have the different January, February, March months targets are mentioned, and there whatever the invoices are done in the same months, and whether it is achieved or it is below the achievement, those we have to print. So I have loaded the target data, sorry, transaction data, where I'm loading the all the invoices, transactional data. Then I am loading the target data, where I have the slowly changing dimensions. Then I am loading the, so how I am loading the interval match. How I am doing the interval match. So here, let me know if I'm going too fast, or if you have any queries, you can interrupt me and ask. So in the interval match, as we have mentioned, the it should be an interval match keyword, then a matching field and the load state. So likewise, interval match is specified, and the my matching field is a invoice date from the transaction. And again, since there are multiple invoice dates and multiple target for the employees, so it's not the case like where I have the only one period and one target. So I have a one period but a multiple targets. So how I can distinguish those things? So I can have the combination of invoice date and the employee name, on which I can have the one period only, right? So I am mentioning the my matching field and the other key fields like the employee name, and then I am loading the from and to date, and again the employee name from this slowly changing dimension data. So if I load this data, you will be able to see that I have got the data like the data I have got is exactly okay, but the big challenge, or we can say if the data is a very small and everything the application is a very small, then it's not a challenge. But when you are going to integrate this part within the bigger data model, the most important thing in this, you have got the synthetic key. So it's a alert, because as per our best practices there should not be any synthetic key within this. So how we are going to handle this synthetic key? So any inputs that how we can remove the synthetic keys? If you have remembered the best practices, so what are the different methods to remove synthetic keys?
So we can drop the field which is making the synthetic key.
So if you from which table, from both the tables or any one table?
No, sir, from the target data table. So
So
here,
if you drop the target,
sir,
yes.
yeah, sir, but for joining the data, like from target data, you can first join the particular fields and in invoice data, and then we can drop the fields from the target data.
So how will you join? On what basis you will join?
So basis on invoice date and employee name, we can take a concatenated key and then join this data with invoice data and then drop the fields from target data.
Okay. So if I do that thing, so in the invoice date I have the dates like 10th of January, and let's say Gaurav G. So my key will become 10th of January 2020 and Gaurav G. This will be a key, right?
Right, sir.
And in the targets, if I take the key, so let's say combination of from and to, or so whatever it is, but then there I will not have the exact matching date, right? Here I
Right,
have the 10th of January, which key is not available in the slowly changing dimension.
right, right.
Okay, so what we have to do, we have,
I guess
after
we
doing
can
this,
rename.
but again if you rename the fields, yeah, if you rename the fields, the relationship will get changed. So let's go and check how we can remove this. So now I have the three tables in my system, right? One is a invoice data, another is a target, and one is a synthetic key. So if I check, I have the combination of. So here you can see in the synthetic key I have the employee name, target from, and target to. It means that these three fields are available in both the tables, right? So I will go. So I will go and I will make the combination of these. So composite key I am going to create, and based on composite key I can create the relationship between these two tables. So how I have done this thing? So I have loaded everything from the invoice table, and the simple one key I have created. Then I am loading again the target table. So every target value only, and the key from the target table, and then I'm dropping both the tables. So older tables will be dropped now, and the only new tables will be available. So this is how my data model will look like. This is my transactional data, and this is my target data. Okay. So what will happen if I join these two tables? Any inputs?
Hello, Prashant sir. Hi, Pramod this side.
Uh,
I just have a small clarification.
yep.
Is there any invoice
Yes.
start date and invoice end date? Is there anything present like that in the invoice table? I guess we haven't seen that.
No, no. Invoice start and invoice end is not available. You have a single invoice date. Invoice is nothing but let's say you are going to purchase something. So you go into the shop and you are purchasing. So you
Okay.
it's a random. You can go on any day and you have purchased. So your invoice is generated and invoice is given to you. So there is
Agreed,
no
agreed.
start and end date to the invoice.
Yes,
But
but the data
definitely,
model. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
yeah, definitely the shop, if shop is going to analyze the monthly sales, then whatever in whatever month you have done the purchasing, that particular month start and month end, your invoice date will fall within that bracket. Is that right?
Okay. No, my question was that
So CB.
the data which you show, there was two data, right? One is all the employees data and other is
Yes,
the invoice data. In the employees data, there is
right.
an target from and target to, whereas there is no such field
Yes,
in the invoice table. But the data model
right.
which you have prepared, the interval is
Mhm.
getting matched using the invoice what was that? Start and
Target
end with
start and
target
target
start
end.
and target end from the invoice table aspect in that aspect. So my question is,
Right,
how is that arrived?
right. Yeah. So that interval match is functioning. Interval, what interval match is doing? Interval match is checking your invoice date. So
Okay,
the functioning of interval match is that. So this is what is we need to achieve, right? Okay. That particular invoice is falling within which bracket of a target. So by using this interval match, we are finding this invoice date between this target from and target. So that will check that this particular date is falling between these two dates,
okay, okay.
and
So
so and then it will create these two. So whatever is a matching from and to, and that will we have joined it to the again back to the invoice. So these two columns will get added back to your invoice data.
agreed. So let's suppose Gaurav ji has an invoice date of 3rd March
Mm-hmm.
2020. Okay, and for that particular employee,
Okay.
there is three targets revised in a year. One is from 1st to January to 31st December. Second is from first February
Mm-hmm.
to the next February, and third is the March wala data.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if a date has been recorded 3rd March 2020, then it will fall under all these three
Uh-huh.
categories, right? So the value will also be summed up and
Uh,
showed like that.
so in that case, your data itself has a some fault because targets cannot be overlapping, right? So
Yes.
let's say my sales target is revised in a 1st of January, and I'm saying that I should have a 1 lakh sales. So in the 1st of February, or let's say in the mid of June, I'm saying that my target should go from 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs. So it does not mean that my target is 1 lakh as well as 1.5 lakh. My target is now revised and my target is 1.5 lakh only. So my previous target has a end date that let's say today is what 18 June. On a 18 June, my target is revised. So my previous target that is starting from 1st of January is now stopped on a 18 June, and from 18
Okay.
June onwards, I have a revised target, right? So there will be
Okay.
no overlapping of a bucket should be there.
Okay. Cool. Got it. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So have we reloaded this? Okay. So after reloading, yeah, we have reached to the linking of these two tables. So my question is that why we should keep these two separate tables and why not to join this target into the uh, transaction table?
Can I answer?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Prashant, so target will repeat as many times the transaction is repeated. The key is repeated in the transaction table. So
Right.
if the key matches
Exactly.
twice, the target will come twice. So the values which will come on dashboard would be wrong.
Right. So it will get double or n number of times the transactions are available for that. Right. So this is what is the right understanding of the data is very important when you are developing. I was expecting it from the other people, not from Ankit. So till now, any doubts, any queries, any clarifications?
Yeah, hi Prashant, Vijendra here.
Yeah, hi, Vijay.
Yeah, can you show us the impact of synthetic key, like how it's formed and how we can resolve? I know, but what will be the impact if the synthetic key available in our data?
Right now, I won't be able to showcase the impact because it is a very short, small data model I'm having. But let's
Mm-hmm.
say if you have a very big data model where number of you have kind of dashboards are big. So if you have the synthetic keys available in a dashboard, that impacts on sometimes in our data as well as sometimes in a performance. So that is the reason we must remove those synthetic keys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Should we move?
Yes, sir.
So next is the hierarchical data. So you must be aware that hierarchy or in TD we are saying it is as a design. So let's say this is our typical TD design where we have the MD in place and director who is reporting to the MD, below which we have the clusters where we have the nodal custodian of the auto, then nodal custodian of the NBFC, then COE group, then solutioning group, and again the different hierarchies. So if I look at this, I can see the four levels of data. On the level 1 I have the MD, on the level 2 I have a director, on the level 3 I have the nodal custodians and the COE people, and on the level 4 we have the customer custodians and like below like this. So how to handle this data, or how we can represent this data? So again, in a click, we have the hierarchy. I mean the ready-made function available, which has the some prerequisites are also there, but yes, definitely we can handle. Can anybody give me, apart from this, any example of the hierarchical data? Apart from the organization hierarchy, what else hierarchies can be available?
It's based on sales man, like sales person and then his manager, and then so forth. Like this is one example.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हा पियुष.
हा सध्या चेक करा किती युजर आहे आणि प्रोसेसेस काय चालू आहे. मी इथे Q3 लाच आहे.
ठीक आहे.
बट आय एम फेसिंग प्रॉब्लेम.
ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे. हॅलो. हॅलो.
Hello.
Yeah, Prashant.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So apart from sales people hierarchy, what else we can say?
Uh,
Any
yeah, Prashant, family is a good example for hierarchy.
right?
So another one is geographical data, geographical hierarchy.
Right.
Product
Right.
hierarchy.
So right. So these are the very nice examples for the hierarchical data. Again, one of the typical example, we can say the category of the products, and if any one of you have came across the insurance sector, so the policies which are falling under the different groups, again they are the hierarchies. So these are some of the examples. So how to handle this kind of data is a very important. So we have the ready hierarchy as a function available in the click, where we have to pass few parameters. So the must of this data is you should have the child ID and the parent ID. So what is the child ID and parent ID? Is child ID is the identification of the individual node. So let's say if I'm talking about the person, let's say this is the person. Ranjan Chopra is the person. So his child ID is one, but his parent ID is a null, which means he is on the very topmost in the hierarchy. Let's say below that we have the second employee whose name is a Jatin, and whose child ID is a 2, and he has a parent ID as a 1, which means Jatin, in the hierarchy, Jatin is on the so if I show you the my presentation. So here we can see the proper understanding of hierarchy, that this MD is positioning at a 1, and his child ID is a 1, but he has a no parent ID, which means he is on the topmost of the hierarchy. Let's say we have the second person in place, director, who has a parent ID, child ID as a 2, and his parent ID is a 1, which means he is reporting to MD. Likewise, this defines the relationship. This defines the relationship between the child and parent. So if this data is not available within your data, you are not able to identify the uh, relationship, or you are not able to create the hierarchy. So this is a must to have the data. So now how to how to handle this it. So in the hierarchy you should pass the, before load the data you should have to define this hierarchy. So you need to pass the parameters like what is a node id, which is a child id, then what is a parent id. Just a second. Okay, so these are the parameters we must this is the syntax, and these are the parameters that one should pass while loading the data. So this will let the click understand that what is the relationship between the nodes, or what kind of hierarchy is going to define. So the most important thing is a node ID, which is the individual node, or we can say the child ID. Then the parent ID. Then the name of the node, which uh, which we can say that the name of the employee you can say. Then the parent name. So parent name is a kind of hello.
Yes, Prashant.
Yeah, sorry, it was due to the interrupt in net connection.
No
Yeah.
problem. Please
So
continue.
these are the parameters. Yeah. So I will show you this in the examples that will help you to understand this better. Okay. So this is what is my hierarchical data, where I have the child ID, parent ID, and then here I can understand that part. So in the data, if you look at this, I have defined the child ID, parent ID, his department, designation, and the name of the person. So with this data only, I am going to create the hierarchy. So in the data, I have the child ID. So as per the syntax, I should have the node ID, which is my child ID. Then the parent ID, uh, the parent ID, which is my child ID. Then the which is we are saying as a node name. Then the uh, parent node name, which means that to whom it is reporting. Then the path source I will show in the data what it means. So it will contain the hierarchy. It will contain the hierarchy uh, between hierarchy that up to what level it is extending. Then we have the path name. So path name actually has to the mentioned like the just a moment. So this is what is the data where I have the node ID as a my child ID, parent ID. This is what is a node name in the data source. Then this is my path source. It is going to create based onto the field which I have passed. So on the level 1 I have the MD, on the level 2 I have director, on the level 3 the nodal custodian, on the level 4 customer custodian, right? And the path name is created like MD. First is the MD, then MD to the director. So to reach up to this child, what is the path I have to reach, or what is the hierarchy we have in our data. So this is the complete hierarchy it can show, and this shows the depth of a data. Yeah. So then in the data, in the syntax, we have passed one parameter which is a delimiter, which shows the kind of delimiter to indicate the difference between the two difference between the two levels and its depth. So here path and depth are the keywords you need to pass, and rest will remain as is. Yeah, sorry, I had the another important call. So this path is a keyword. Then you have to pass the delimiter and the depth which will be created. If we are not going to pass this delimiter, by default it will take slash as a delimiter. Okay. I have loaded this data, and now the data
प्रशांत,
is created. हाँ.
उसमें reports to
Yes,
जैसे
Ankit.
you have created a, that is a column name that you have created, right? Because all other fields are already there.
Yes. Yes, I have created the reports to वाला column. So immediate reporting, immediate parent जो है, that will be referred as a report.
So it will automatically fetch the designation as reports to.
Yes.
So could you go back to the syntax मतलब जिसमें you have written in the click? So
Yes.
designation will go to reports to which level? Syntax in the click. जो click में लिखा हुआ है.
ये वाला.
हाँ हाँ. ये reports to
Okay.
के बाद designation is defining की designation मुझे चाहिए reports to में या automatically मतलब ये आगे भी आपने designation लिखी है ना.
हाँ. तो
इधर
okay.
नाम भी डाल सकते थे जैसे
If we come.
नेम या एम्प्लॉय नेम जो फील्ड है, अगर इधर डेजिग्नेशन की जगह हम वो डाल दे तो नेम आएगा रिपोर्ट्स टू में. मैं जानना चाह रहा.
हाँ. Right. So this is the parameter actually. ये parameter में नाम आप क्या लिख रहे हो, that is वो that depends upon you. But
तो अगर हम
ultimately,
डेजिग्नेशन
so
जो
what is,
सेकंड वाला डेजिग्नेशन है उसकी जगह अगर नेम लिखें तो रिपोर्ट्स टू में नेम आएगा उस पेरेंट का.
yes.
करके देख सकते हैं.
हाँ, बट यहाँ पे क्या होगा, ये डेजिग्नेशन आई हैव टू पास दिस डेजिग्नेशन, और यहाँ पे जो रिपोर्ट टू है दैट
हाँ
इज ठीक है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा, तो ये जो रिपोर्ट टू है दैट विल
हाँ
रेफर टू दिस डेजिग्नेशन. अगर मैं यहाँ पे नेम डाल दूँ तो यहाँ
हाँ
पे इंडिविजुअल नेम विल कम. सो
हाँ
लेट्स
हाँ
से माय एम्प्लॉय एमडी के. हाँ, सो यू वांट टू चेंज हियर.
हाँ. आई वांट टू सी द रिजल्ट बाय दैट.
ओके, आई एम चेंजिंग दिस एज
रीनेम तो बाद में हो रहा है ना, तो पहले रीनेम नेम डालेंगे. अच्छा इधर चेंज करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, दैट विल.
नेम में डेजिग्नेशन आने लग गया. नीचे वाले टेबल में देखें.
So if I look at the
इसे रिपोर्ट टू कर दे और
syntax,
जो
तो
सेकंड वाला डेजिग्नेशन है उसे नेम कर दे. आई व्हाट आई थिंक रिपोर्ट टू में शायद स्पेस था या नहीं था. डबल क्लिक कर.
हाँ अर्पित, अभी अभी कहाँ पे चेंज करने बोलो.
मैं रिपोर्ट्स टू में नाम चाह रहा था और कुछ नहीं, बस जैसे इसमें डेजिग्नेशन आ रही थी ना,
अच्छा।
उसका देख रहा था कैसे होएगा।
हम्म, ठीक है, तो अगर उसमें इफ़ यू वांट द नेम, सो हमें पेरेंट नेम मतलब इधर फोर्थ।
सर प्रशांत प्रोसीड, कोई नहीं, मैं इसे अपने आप देख लूंगा।
ठीक है, that we will change, I mean we'll make the changes and I will get back to you. Okay, so this is how the data is created. So if I talk about the, I mean what in the results, so what all parameters I have passed, so these are the parameters which I have passed and I have got the results like this. Okay. So one thing we would like to showcase here, that so here if you want to show the hierarchy, so now you have created this hierarchy data, but how you are going to showcase this hierarchy is like this. So you are taking the fields and you have to make the change as a, here in the click view you have the property as a show as a tree view, and whatever delimiter you have passed in a syntax that you have to pass over here. So based on this it will create this hierarchy data. So same thing when we are doing it a click sense, there is a bit challenge that showing it like this tree structure is not that much easy or till now. So we tried, so we were not able to reach up to that kind of visualization because of the limitation of the properties and the, maybe we can say the click sense limitations. So then that it is created like in this manner only. So it will show you the entire uh, levels. So this tree structure creating is a bit difficult in a click sense. Yes. So yeah, that's all for the session. Any doubts? Any queries?
Thank you, Prashant. Any query, any question from your end? Any doubt you have regarding interval match, slowly changing dimension, hierarchical data? the assignment on interval math would be uploaded on LMS in module 3. So you all need to complete that. If you have still any query, you can ask Prashant Baste.
Yes, you can reach me on one-on-one personal mails, or you can ping me on Hangouts.
Okay, thank you, Prashant. So
Thank you,
guys,
ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
so I want to update you on two things. One is the members from the respective technology, if have not attended more than one session, one classroom session, they would be in red zone and the list will be shared with the business. I'm repeating, the members who are not attending the sessions in their respective technology, if you have not attended more than one session, you are in a red zone. Plus, tomorrow we would have an printing 17 session in continuation of our previous session by Abhishek Jain on Printing 17 tool capability. So the tomorrow session would be on installation of Printing 17. So you all need to attend that. Thank you. Any question, any query you have? Okay, we are assuming that you don't have any question. All the best, guys. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.